I'm Maxter Garcia, and I've had the Google Pixel 3 for about 3 months now, and I just want to review it. And this right here was my first ever Android phone after having the iPhone 4, 5S, 6S, X, and now 2 iPhone SEs. I finally decided, why not? Let me give it a try, and I got this Pixel 3. And I was about to get the Pixel 4, but after the disastrous release of the Pixel 4 it just had me facepalm, like, why? And if you're not familiar, the Pixel 4 won this award.
But the bust of the year overall for 2019 is the Google Pixel 4.
And the reason the Pixel 4 won that award is simple. You can't make a worse phone year over year. The Pixel 4 has a smaller battery. It doesn't have a fingerprint reader. It took away screen real estate with the notch. And it also took away the ultra wide camera, and it just removed that for a telephoto. And I gotta admit, I really love having this ultra wide camera on the Pixel 3. So that's why, and also I can't forget about the exuberant price point of around $800 to $900 for a Pixel 4 brand new. So it was a super easy buy with my own money to get the Pixel 3 XL 6.3-inch OLED display non-pink Android phone used for around $400. So get a better phone for half the price. The Pixel 3 was like, boom, great deal. And I gotta say, back when the Google Pixel 1 came out, me and my nerdy friends were geeking out about the HDR computational photography because there was nothing like this in the iPhones. The iPhones just took the shutter, took the most real life photo, but now with the Pixel 1, I was super impressed. The Pixel 2 had me even more impressed. The Pixel 3, I was like, wow, those photos are impressive. And now that that phone is in my hands and I started taking photos, especially with the ultra wide camera on the front, which probably isn't the best, but that computational HDR photography, it literally works magic. I'll roll some samples right now, and oh my gosh, whether you're taking it at night with night sight, it's literally magic. It's such a seamless experience. It tells you what's going wrong, so if your eyes are closed, it'll tell you to open up your eyes. If you actually took a photo and your eyes are closed, if your phone is on a lower angle, it'll tell you to raise the angle for a better photo. Things like that. And night sight, it has astrophotography, so you put your phone on a tripod and let it stay there for a minute. With the Pixel 3, it's going to take a picture of the stars. And the Pixel 4 kind of has like an upgraded software feature on that. It could go for up to 4 minutes, but I think 1 minute is sufficient enough to get a photo of the stars, and you could take photos in the night. It's ridiculous how good the camera aspect of it is. Maybe not the video, because the video is subpar, especially compared to iPhone. The iPhone is so far advanced in video. I would say it's about like 4 years advanced compared to all these Android phones, especially with the Pixel 3. It can only shoot 4K at 30 frames per second, and I can't control it in the camera app, just like iPhones of old. Anyways, the video, it's not as good. It's not as real life as I would like it to be. The HDR that it tries to apply is really finicky. The focusing, the exposure control, just doesn't make me like have trust in the video that I'm getting. Although the photos, mind-blowing results, and I just love taking photos with this device. Like, I can't understate that enough. I love taking photos with the Pixel 3, and it has completely lived up to the hype. But the videos, I came in knowing that they're not going to be the best, and yes, it's not the best. But let's talk about Android now. So I've been with iOS for the past 10 years and in that so-called Apple ecosystem. And now let's go to the Google ecosystem, and there's only one thing I could find. Here we are talking about the wonderful Google ecosystem. Just kidding, it's just this one thing, and that's with the Google Home Hub right here. Almost every single photo I take on the Google Pixel 3 XL comes up in a wonderful, everlasting slideshow on this Google Home Hub. And that's just a little continuity with software. And look, you got some snow right there. in a photo I just took on my little vacation. So I love this little interaction between Google Photos and the Google Home Hub right here. So let's send it back to the studio. Yeah, it's a kind of cool part of the so-called Pixel ecosystem, although Google just bought Fitbit, so possibly a Google smartwatch is going to come out soon. Google is also going to release their version of AirPods. There's also the Pixel Slate out there, the Pixel Book Go, if you want that. But the Google ecosystem just doesn't have that software continuity that Apple has. Anyways, it's hard to live up to Apple. Let's talk about that Android experience. And to explain Android is as simple as it's rough around the edges, but those rough edges kinda are pleasing in some moments. With iOS, it's the same thing all the time, every day, all year round. But with Android, you do get to change up some things, and this is a disclaimer, I still had my SIM card in my iPhone SE, so all my messages and all my calls were from my iPhone because I kind of need my iPhone to have the SIM card so I could call and text from my Apple Watch, but that's just a little contingency right there. With the Pixel, I would just used it when I was connected to the Wi-Fi, and I was fine with that. And Android, the wallpapers are cool. You could have this little ship moving in the background, or you could swipe to it through a scene going through your home screen. You could choose the apps that you want on the home screen. You could choose little widgets. So I have like a little play section for Apple Music on my home screen, which I think is cool. You could see the weather on my home screen, also cool. Android still has the gestures thanks to Android 10, so it's just like the iPhone. Gestures works almost just as well. It also has dark mode and group notifications, and also a specialty feature of Android is that it has the dock on the bottom with all of your apps, because you don't have to put all of your apps on the home screen, which is a little feature I like. But Android is just, it's there. Like for example, the Files app on this device, it's a little weird, because if you want to go just to see your photos, you can't do that. You have to go to Google Photos, and Google Photos only works when you're connected to the internet. So I have to go to the Files app to look at my photos that are on my device, and that's a little complex. You also have all of the very own Google software apps. So you have YouTube, that's a big one. You have Google itself. You have Google Docs, Google Slides. Everything Google is on the device preloaded. And I gotta say, the Notes app, the native Notes app for Google, is not as good as Apple Notes app. And also the reminders, non-existent on here. So Android, rough around the edges, but those rough edges can be pleasing at sometimes. That's all I say. And also, one huge complaint about the Pixel 3 is that notch. And yes, that notch is humongous. When you look at it from afar, when you're not using the phone on the daily and you just see the notch in someone else's hands when they're using this huge device, they're like, the notch is kind of a turnoff. But once you have the device for a week and you're using it daily, and all of a sudden when it's just the time and your little status bar updates up there, all in black, you rarely notice the notch, especially if you're not expanding like YouTube or Disney Plus or Netflix into that full screen mode. If you're not expanding into that full screen mode, then the notch isn't bothersome. I actually like the notch. It's more screen, and if it's just gonna have my time up there, why not? Just have my time up there. And I gotta say this, if I rather have a notch and a slight bezel on the bottom to have front firing stereo speakers and an ultra wide camera, than not having a notch and not having that bezel on the bottom. I like having a little bit of bezels here and there. Until you can figure out to put that under the screen, just have it out in the open. It's okay, you don't have to rush into technology that isn't ready just yet. Oppo just discovered that you could put a camera under the screen. It's the first time that we have a prototype out in the world, so that's great. And I do like the Pixel 3. The battery life is good. I don't have my SIM card in there, so I can't truly test it. but just from home usage, it lasts pretty much all day. I would say around 5 hours to 7 hours of me using it, it's gonna survive. My iPhone SE right now, to be honest, it's like a 30-minute to an hour battery life. I don't know, for whatever reason, it's on iOS 13, and it's just, whew, it is gone for me in like 15 seconds of me taking it outside my home Wi-Fi. Anyways, the Pixel 3 also supports wireless charging, and I wirelessly charge it every night, and I don't use the fast charging it has with USB-C. Did I mention it has USB-C? Hallelujah! USB-C is the best thing ever now that I have on my iPad Pro, my GoPro, my headphones, and my MacBook, and this device. Oh, USB-C, all the things. I don't use the fast charging for the Pixel, although I've used it a couple times in some certain scenarios. It's nice to have because fast charging ruins the battery a little bit faster than the slow wireless charging, and if I'm just going to charge it at night, I'm just going to slow charge it, and I'm not going to affect the battery as much. The Pixel also has water resistance, but since I bought it used, it had a little knack in the screen, so I don't think it has any water resistance anymore, and I'm not going to test it because my iPhone X supposedly had water resistance, and that phone broke to water, so I don't want to talk about water resistance in phones anymore. Also, I do like the buttons on the Pixel 3. Not only are they colorful, like the home button's orange, they're also very clicky, so I like the buttons on the Pixel 3. And overall, the Pixel 3 is like a confident design. It doesn't look like an iPhone, but it feels like an iPhone. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but we got this frosted glass on the back. The fingerprint scanner is trustworthy. I personally prefer Face Unlock, but I don't prefer Face Unlock if it's gonna unlock with your eyes closed. Then I would just prefer a fingerprint reader. I do like the 6.3-inch OLED display. The OLED display does get really bright, and it's also really crispy, although it's not like a 90 Hz refresh rate display like the Pixel 4, which destroys your battery life. But hey, it's a good display. I think it's made by Samsung, right? So I really do like this phone, and for $400, you just can't complain about this at all. It is a flagship for $400. And the 4 gigabytes of RAM and the Snapdragon 845, they haven't been hurting this device at all. I've been going through the whole software system perfectly. There hasn't been many crashes or slowdowns. I really can't complain about this. I could complain about the Pixel 4 though, all day, because for $900, the drawbacks that you're getting is rough. The Pixel 3, I like it. Here's the main big question. Would I just completely throw away my iPhone SE, because I could kind of just throw it away at this point because I barely use it. Would I throw away my iPhone SE and put my SIM card into this, so this Android phone would be my main phone? And I gotta say no. iOS is just too simple, it's too convenient, and in the world of technology, convenience is absolutely the king. And just Android, iMessage, and AirDrop, they got me hooked to the Apple ecosystem. Not to mention AirPods. When you use AirPods with the Pixel 3, you don't see the battery life at all. But with iOS, AirPods work perfectly. The Apple Watch works intuitively. The ecosystem, it's a tough walled garden to get past. Although I'm very glad I got this device. It helped me look beyond the horizon of the Apple ecosystem, which is always important to experience in life, because I was like, why not? You only live once. Let me try this Pixel 3. And I was going to get the Pixel 4. I had money allocated for it, and then it released, and I was like, nope, nope, nope. Pixel 3, I really like it. Even if you're just going to get this for a camera, I wouldn't mind, because like, you could get the Pixel 3a, but you're losing out on all those flagship features, so just get this, and you have that ultra wide camera, which is super cool. Anyways, I'm ranting here. The Pixel 3, I definitely approve it. It's a great camera, an amazing camera, a camera that you have trust in the photos it's taking, and you actually enjoy those photos, which is important. The video, overall experience, good. Thank you for watching. Make sure you bless it. Peace out.
3, 2, 1.